I experienced premature ejaculation for 5 years, and even if it was very painful, it was one of the reasons of why I started to be very interested in sexuality and sex health. The fact that I totally sucked in bed was one of the things that encouraged me to start my journey to become the perfect lover, a sex god. Thanks to that, I learned a lot, and I'm so glad for how much improved my sex life and relationships. When I was investigating, making the research, improving, and making the practices, I realized a couple of important things. One of them was that pretty much no one is doing something to improve their sex lives, not on purpose. Worse than that, they actually screwing it up daily. While just a group of guys are those kind of men that gears literally fingering themselves thinking about them, most men are these soft, small dick entities that have lame sex. And today I want to walk you through the main causes for this harsh reality for most men so you can avoid them. My name is Jesus Noya, and I help men to last longer in bed, become sexually dominant, and be more attractive, all this while avoiding the deadly mistakes that I made through my sex life. This comes from my medical background of being a medicine student and 5 years of struggling with things like performance anxiety, premature ejaculation, and non-existent sexual confidence. Today I want to save you from the deadly mistakes that most men make while having sex that usually guide them to either getting cocked, abandoned, or just being treated like bitches. I also want to help you to have a better understanding of what you can do to potentiate making love and the right practices to achieve this. And if you want to improve your sex life to astonishing levels, the first link in the description is my contact, so go and click that right now. But now, going with the reasons, I want to tell you that I went through all those things myself. I was the one before having lame sex and girls getting disgusted by that. Actually, when I was living in the Caribbean a couple of years ago, I was dating a very beautiful and hot girl. You could feel the tension between us. It was a relationship full of excitement. And when we started to escalate to more sexual stuff, I remember how she was like all shy, she didn't want to be kissed. And even when getting naked, she was like covering herself all the time. When I saw that she was behaving like this, I told her, you know, I'm a gentleman and I don't want to force you to do anything that you don't want to. That's okay. Even if I was full of energy, I thought that the right thing to do was to hold myself up and just go and ask her how she was feeling. That was the right thing to do because consent is super important, and I was supposed to take the things like slowly and gradually. When I acted like this and I told her that, she said that it was so sweet coming from me, and that's what she said to me. But a couple of days after that, one of her friends came to tell me how she tell her how lame was the fact that I acted like that I was like a wimp, that she would love for me to man up and start to dominate her. And it's not like she was lying, because actually when we started to have sex, she was the one like taking the lead and even telling me what to do, and I followed her word because I thought that was the right thing. At the beginning I thought that she was kind of insane for telling me that she would want me to be dominating, and then actually want totally the opposite, until I realized that this pattern has always been there. Probably you, in the same way as me, have fell into the trap of vanilla and romantic sex. And here's the thing, girls don't actually want you to be cute, to be gentle and slow, even if they say it. The kind of sex that they enjoy the most, the kind of guys that they will always be chasing to fuck, is the guy that fucks like a real man, like an animal, the one that actually goes wild. Even the cute girls that look like small and innocent and say that they prefer like sweet guys, in the moment that they start to date one of these dominant males, they get hooked, and it's like they can't get out of that relationship even if they want to. And listen, romanticism and connection is something that is important, right? It's great. And when I say that you have to go wild and like an animal, I'm not saying that just go on there like a monkey and try to do things as fast as possible, because sex is not gonna like just put in and put out like a dog, right? That's not how it is. Sex is more like a dance where you have to listen to your partner and make the right moves in the right moment. But a lot of men are like afraid of unleashing that part of them because they want to make things in a lovely way, when the reality is that if you want to deepen the connection and the love, this is one of the most powerful ways to do it. The kind of sex where you leave her like having spasms once you get finished is the one that will make her fall in love with you way more than if you go and just have like missionary dry sex. And when you don't show dominance, when you're not the one taking the lead, then it's the girl that needs to do it, and that makes the interaction very weird, because it's like she needs to push you to be a man and not a wimp. It's like she's your mom and everything just feels awkward and you're not enjoying it. But worse than that, she's not enjoying that either. She's taking the lead unconsciously, because if not, then it's like nothing is going to happen, right? It's gonna be even worse. The trap of vanilla sex is a big killer, and in order to avoid it, then you focus on having that wild powerful and passionate sex. Now, when you're aware of this and you want to put it in practice, there are two things that are the other killers for having a terrible sex life. The first one is the duration, and getting straightforward, in general, men just don't last enough. This was my personal biggest obstacle, and believe me, it was absolute pain. Just imagine being a young man full of sex drive, dating hot and beautiful girls, and the time that I have them naked in bed, I couldn't do shit because when I was trying to put my dick in, I would literally bust before that. Believe me, it was a ton of suffering, and I don't wish that to anyone. In general, the average sex relationship is usually like 5 minutes. In the best cases, it's like 15 minutes. And you know, just because sex lasts 1 hour is not necessarily going to be great, because it's also about what I said before. If you haven't just lame vanilla slow sex, then it's not going to be enjoyable either. But the kind of high quality and wild sex, it can't happen in just 3 minutes, because it will be lame putting all that excitement and energy and then finishing very quick. And it's even worse if it's like 1 minute or less. The average man doesn't have control over his ejaculation, and that means that he's limited. And if you ever experienced it before, you know how it is. It's like sad and disgusting, busting quickly. It's like no one enjoys anything. The thing is that when this happens, it's very difficult to go hard and take the lead, achieving that kind of passionate sex that we're aiming for. This brings a lot of frustration for you, but especially for her. For women, this is a huge turn off, and they even like lose respect for you after that happens. I already experienced it in real life, right? It just makes the whole sex relationship awful. The funny part is that you can actually avoid this. I mean, if nobody have ever told you, you can actually learn to master your ejaculation, to have total control over it. And mark my words, the kind of sex that you're going to have when this happens has absolutely no comparison. If you only focus on improving this, your life would never be the same. With that, we covered the duration. Now, during the time that my sex life was trash, something curious was that my life in general was trash as well. My physical and mental health were absolute garbage. I was undernourished, skinny, all anxious, and always behaving like a bitch. It was obvious that being like this, my sex was going to be lame as well. And if I wanted to make things better, I needed to get all my shit together in life first. That's when I started to train, eating a proper human diet, and being as healthy as I could. Just look at these two pictures and try to wonder which one is the guy that can give a girl a good time. It's not rocket science, right? And what do I mean by all this? I mean that a lot of the quality of the sex that you're going to have, it's highly related to your health. Most people have totally shit health, and as a consequence, a totally shit sex life. Sometimes their dick don't even work properly. They're eating crap, constantly consuming all kind of products that chemically castrate them, and getting all kind of diseases. Is not odd that they can fuck. And just think about it for 1 second. If you want to be a sex god, how does a sex god look like? A sex god isn't fat or skinny or is full of diseases. He's full of health, power, and masculine energy. And as that's what I wanted to achieve, I put a lot of focus on my health. When you do this, you will mark the difference in every woman that has the luck to be with a man like you, because almost nobody else out there is like this. When you combine these three factors, a powerful, animalistic, and wild sex, when you have the control over your duration and the sex quality is high because of how healthy you are, then you become an absolute beast in bed, where your woman will not be able to wait to see you again. But if you neglect these things that I used to do, believe me that it's not going to be an enjoyable experience. In the best case, you're gonna have to be happy with that right hand job in your birthday. That's why I am so grateful for learning these things in the right time. And I'm glad you have this information now, because if you actually put it in practice, you're gonna be able to start to enjoy sex and love in a better way, a superior way, and I really wish that for you. Again, if you want to improve your sex life to astonishing levels, the top link in the description is my contact. Go and click it right now. But besides that, man, I really hope this helps you, and I'll see you later. Bye.